morning. Happy Friday. God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day is praising God and asking for God's blessings, God's favor, and giving thanks, and asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and walking the mic. So look, it's Friday, so that means it's a Freedman Friday. We're all about these reparations. We're all about keeping on top of what's going on and educating ourselves so that we can pass that knowledge on to our loved ones as well as our enemies. So that's what we do every Friday, hour 2. And today, Commissioner Kansa Mohammed, a.k.a. Friday Jones, will be joining us talk about your last chance to weigh in on the L.A. Reparations Commission report and some updates on what we've learned about that. We are going to be joined as we celebrate the birthday of the great herbalist and healer, Dr. Paul Goss. Will be joined by his daughter, who's also a great herbalist and healer, Dr. Sharita, and we'll do that tribute in hour 3. See if she can prescribe us some anti-MAGA herbs. In any case, being strong and healthy of mind, body, and spirit is essential in troubling times because we are the ones that are going to get us through. And of course, it's every other Friday, so guess who's here? It's the one and only KBLA contributor who also happens to be the president of ES Advisors, public policy and electoral consulting firm, Ed Sanders. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you doing?
I'm good. My hair is crazy. If Black Girl Blowout was a rainstorm, that's what I have going on. The hat will not be coming off. How are you?
I guess that's why I bought it.
That's why you have no hair.
Keep it easy.
Yeah, more hair, more problems. Yes, but it's a lot going on. And I think, I don't know, to me, one of the things I've learned over the years is when things get real hairy on the national front, I usually can find encouragement, progress, fellowship, and even some real clear advancement locally.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be, and, we talk about it all the time from perspective, right? Like, and certainly, 8 years ago when Trump got into office, the sort of the chaos of the news cycle, you do have to learn to step out of that and really focus on what's important. And once you do, meaning stuff that's local, something, close to your heart, that sort of thing, you realize that the world isn't ending. And, I can't.
Are you sure about that? Are you 100% sure?
Yeah, I guess that's relative to who you're talking to.
Yeah, understood. So really sad news, at least for me. I'm a foodie, Ed. The Post and Beam restaurant, our own 5-star restaurant in the Crenshaw district, is closing down for good.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I think we knew that was coming just with the changes to the mall and the development and that sort of thing. But, when it's here, I think, it's sad. That was one of my favorite restaurants to be sure.
I just feel like I thought they were going to make it because they kind of pivoted, right, to doing more catering, but it looks like it wasn't enough.
Yeah, but I don't think it was closing because of business, right? I think some of the upgrades to the development are forcing it out, right?
What upgrades? What development? The mall looks like crap. There's nothing going on over there. Even the Pan-African Film Festival and Art Festival isn't in there this year. I mean, okay, Afro City, yeah, fine. There's that great hat store, which I can't think of the name of it right now, and Southern Girl. But that's it. Like, it's like a ghost town. Like, in order to avoid inhaling smoke, I've been power walking that mall, and it is like crickets up in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that mall in general has not been, sort of since its heyday, which might have been, 40 years ago at this point. Um, but nonetheless, I unless I'm wrong, my understanding was that there was going to be some demolition at the mall.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, but that's what we were told when they pushed out Buffalo Wild Wings. And that community hub, which people really like to go watch sports, eat wild wings, and drink, or whatever they were doing, it's been sitting there empty for over a year. I feel like it's been well over a year. So I mean, I know construction is unpredictable, but I feel like they should have just gone ahead and sold them all to the community, because whoever's managing it is not impressing me so far.
That, and you're walking down and pulling the thread that I always enjoy. They just sold it to the wrong group, and
yeah.
I don't think they can ever get past that poor decision.
Unless they turn it into condos for rich people and put a fence around it or something. I mean, we'll see what's coming. I don't know, Ed. I know that the restaurant is open until February 27th, right?
Right.
And you could still get brunch and dinner on the weekends only. They're not open during the week anymore.
Well, yeah, and after the 27th, I don't know what their family plans are or what their plans are, but I do hope they find another location and try to bring Post and Beam, Part 2 back.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Obviously, there's a lot of support for them in that regard.
I mean, it's a food spot, but it's also like a hangout spot. Like people, it's just like a community. I mean, kind of like Harold and Bell's. It's one of those hubs where people go and hang out and eat.
It's one of it's look, in working in South LA and looking at the developments, and it has been hard to find the capital investment to have people risk doing businesses like a Post and Beam, a sit-down restaurant.
Even still, with all the gentrification, I mean, even if they don't open it for us, there's so many white people around now, you would think somebody would be like, I mean, they did open a Whole Foods over there on Jefferson in La Cienega.
And I don't necessarily, advocate for like selling to big developers to, redevelop South LA. That's not what I would advocate for. But I would say that there are some storefronts and property owners that I wish had the capacity to invest in their infrastructure and their house, their buildings, so that they could attract more, businesses like a Post and Beam, or make it more feasible in that way.
Yeah, we're actually, I mean, it seems like we are making some progress. If you look what's happened in Leimert Park and along the Crenshaw corridor, there are some black entrepreneurs that are buying buildings. Black Lives Matter has got a building, and many of those new and thriving black businesses along Crenshaw are now in black-owned properties. Right,
exactly. And that's, I think that's the... you're from the Bay Area originally, but growing up in LA, you've been in Los Angeles long enough to see that transformation.
Yeah.
Where, for the longest, Crenshaw just looked the same. And, having, worked in that space, it was difficult to get, people to invest in their properties, to liven it up, to make it look more modern. And then, let alone find folks that would come in and be bold enough to put a business in like Post and Beam. And so, when you see that, you want to celebrate it again. So, congratulations to them on a strong run.
Yeah.
But I hope we see them again soon.
And, like many of the restaurants, I think they took a hit in 2020.
Yeah.
But one bright spot, I guess they're still going to be doing their Black Pot Supper Club. So look on their Instagram to find that out. The Black Pot Supper Club is like an exclusive, you pay a flat rate and you just have these historic meals with, foundational American food, Black American cuisine, and many courses. So I'm glad they'll still be doing that. And I'm going to be saving up my change. Maybe I'll go for my birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I always ask you the sports questions and the dad questions. So we have to talk Super Bowl, and we have to talk about how you're feeling about kids being in school with the air quality issues. Some parents have been holding their kids back, just not feeling safe or not feeling adequately reassured that the children, even if they're not in a direct burn area, are safe to be outside or be in the conditions of the school environment post fires. We'll look at those things and more when we come forward. You're invited in 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Go off. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I have a dream today.
The road to freedom wasn't paved with just big moments. It was built day to day, step by step, voice by voice. This February, experience Black History Month through the stories that shape Los Angeles and beyond. KBLA Talk 1580, where Black history lives.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you neighbor to neighbor, bringing you resources and what you need to know. For information on fire recovery resources, recovery hubs, and available services, call 211 for the City of Los Angeles and 311 county-wide. Aid distribution locations, repopulation updates, and safety rules are constantly changing. Visit the LA City and LA County websites for the latest. If you'd like to sign up for the county's free debris removal, fill out a right of entry form, or get a list of disaster recovery centers that are still active, please visit recovery.lacounty.gov or call the debris hotline at 844-347-3332. If you're vulnerable to mudslides with rain in the forecast, free sandbags are being offered. Go to lacounty.pw/sandbags to find out where to get them. Businesses who have lost their facilities due to the fires can use a regional online source to get free or discounted locations. Whether you're interested in donating or finding space, you can visit the business-to-business Space Share portal at spaceshare.lacounty.gov. Additional LA County small business support and programs can be found at opportunity.lacounty.gov. Praying, advocating, and standing with you. KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
So this is the part, no, I won't say that because I actually love football. I just haven't been tracking it for the past decade or so the way I normally would. But I always watch the Super Bowl. Even if I watch nothing else, I watch the Super Bowl. I watch the commercials, and I watch the game. And this is, even though there's no West Coast representation, this is an exciting matchup, right? I know Miles is excited. He's a dyed-in-the-wool Eagles fan. Who you got, Ed?
I don't have a dog in this race, right? Like, I I'm happy that you got two black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, right? That the more that happens, I just love to see that for the game. The Eagles, I hope they do well. Honestly, I want to see Mahomes keep winning until he gets close to Brady and can surpass Brady as the greatest ever. So in that regard, I might just chalk one up. If it were the Rams in the Super Bowl or even the Raiders, I'd be all in on this one.
I didn't even realize that no one has ever won 3 times in a row. When I think three-peat, I think about my 49ers, but they weren't consecutive.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's not it's difficult enough to win back-to-back in NFL. It's not like the NBA where you can, the best player or two can dominate for a period of time. That's what makes Mahomes so special, or the potential of him. And where there's greatness, I want to see it. In that regard, I'm not a big Chiefs fan. Let me say that, but I'll suffer through him winning Super Bowls till he can pass Brady.
He'll suffer through him winning Super Bowl. Miles, you're awfully quiet. He's like, Eagles, eh.
No, I mean, you and Ed are talking. I didn't want to interrupt, and
Well, this is your weekend. I mean, I didn't realize the Eagles were on such an incredible roll, like with the point spread they're winning their games by, and the season that they've had, right?
Yeah, they're having a real strong season. Shout out to the coaching staff actually finally getting it right. A lot of moving pieces this last year that we came in. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, but a new stud running back, Saquon Barkley, who's been carrying the load on his shoulders. I think the strategy is easy. If we feed him and he leads us to the promised land, it's going to be I want to say an easy win. It's the Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs. But if we can keep Mahomes off the field, break down some of that clock, and if he ends up with 25, 30 carries, 200-plus yards, which is possible, then I think we're in good position. Now, if it ends up being a high-scoring game, we need Jalen Hurts to win the game for us through passing. We may be in some trouble. But if we can play Eagles football, I'm calm, Dominique. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it.
I love it. I love that energy on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess
the Eagles beat the Rams, so I'm cool if they lose.
Everybody's been saying everybody is doing what Ed did and say, you know what, we love to see the black quarterbacks. We love to see that happen. If that wins, that's our glimmer of hope for the Eagles. But a lot of people been talking doing a lot of lip service to the Eagles this year. So I'm personally, it's up with everybody. So, you know what I mean? As an Eagles fan, we barking all offseason if we win.
Miles has no new friends when it comes to football.
Man, I'm good on it. I'm good.
That's
thank
funny
you,
to
but
me.
no thank you. Shout out.
Well, I do think it's a win-win for black people, though. You got 2 black quarterbacks and a Super Bowl halftime show that's going to be legendary. So it is a fan or no fan, new friends or no new friends. It's a win-win-win on that score.
I mean, as long as you cool with celebrating from the couch with the other fans that didn't make it, and not try to come to the parade when we win, that's all I care about. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, some people may be at that parade. What did you say?
It's too cold back east to be going.
To be going to the parade. Are you going, Miles?
I can get that day off. What?
What? He surely would.
Broadcasting live from the parade.
Yes. Wow. Well, I got a sister that lives in Philly, so
we go Airbnb. I'll stay with her for the week.
Let's go. No, I don't want to go to that parade because you're right. I would be for what? I mean, I'd be hanging out with my sister. The point is that
you're surrounded by winners.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm always surrounded by winners.
You're correct. True.
God is good. But 2 things, Ed. Number one, have you heard the conversation? Some people saying that Mahomes isn't really black, so that they're using that as a reason to root for the Eagles. Like he's not black enough, according to the black police. Which of course I take exception to that because my mama white. But it's not just that. It's because I think when we get into policing the 1-drop rule, we get into, some slippery slopage.
Yeah. I mean, it you can say what you want. I can look at his style of play and I can tell you where it's coming from. The ancestry of watching him out on the field. But, I agree with you. I mean, at a certain point, I hope to not have to just celebrate, the black quarterback. But
we're getting close. We're getting close, right? Aren't we? I mean, it's way better than it was when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's much better. I mean, like, and the rise of the black quarterback, I hope it turns into the rise of the offensive coordinator and the play caller, because that's also the path to the black head coach as well. And so, that whole process is important, right? And, I don't know if Jalen Hurts or Mahomes, after their careers have coaching in their sights, but what they do on the field does matter, and the image of it matters to young quarterbacks, and honestly, I'm looking at like the younger crop of quarterback in the NFL, like a C.J. Stroud, even a Jaden Daniels out in Washington. Both of them grew up in the Inland Empire, and you kind of think about, okay, so who were their idols, and that's why it matters that playing on the highest stage.
Let's go to Ron calling us from Richmond. He always likes to talk sports while we on this Super Bowl thing. Hi, Ron.
Good morning from the Bay. Yeah, we talking lots of sports. It's going down. Fly, Eagles fly. Now, I'm going to sing the theme song if you are aware, Miles, to just let it be known, bro. I'm riding with you.
He's flying.
I've been singing. Yeah, I've been singing the Fly, Eagle fly song if y'all pull this out, so. Y'all get ready. Y'all get ready for your boy. But yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. And no disrespect to the Chiefs, but I want the Eagles to win this, man. I know everybody want to see the 3-peat and all that, but nah, we trying to shut all that down. So,
are you a Mahomes hater, or is it some kind of personal vendetta in your sports family tree?
No, I'm not a Mahomes hater. I'm just tired of seeing the Chiefs win.
Oh, so it's not Mahomes; it's the whole team.
It's the whole team, yes, exactly. I'm Kansas City Chief burnt out, so time for somebody new to win.
I'm trying not to hold his wife's politics against him, but it ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, is she?
She's MAGA. Yeah, yeah. Mahomes' wife is MAGA, and when these white women marry wildly wealthy black men and then parade around their anti-blackness, it's troubling for me. You could say, well, your mama white. Yeah. And our politics are not that. My mom's politics, my family. And also, if you are married to a wildly successful black man as a white woman, I think, and you have a lot of anti-blackness in your heart, I think you should keep that crap to yourself for the sake of your children, for the sake of your hubby's career, etc.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
I'm rich, I'm white, I'm cute. I've never really worked because I don't have to. I mean, I guess she was a soccer player or something.
I met my husband in college when he was on the rise.
I met my husband in college. I, have 3 Birkin bags, and I'm going to judge black people and promote MAGA on my socials. That's just the level of lack of consciousness, of reading the room, of political awareness, of historical sort of navigational understanding is stunning for me.
There it is. That's what's up.
Mrs. Mahomes, please sit down.
I'm actually more curious, like, how does Mahomes deal with it in his locker room? It's all across the league, right? You're going to have both sides in the politics. You've got, even 49ers have Bosa, and so.
Yeah, but he's a player. If you're a player in the game, then you got to speak what you're going to speak. But your wife come over here cutting up, I don't know. I don't know. It's time for news, traffic, and sports. But we can continue this conversation or not. 800-920-1580 KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. New NASA imagery reveals asteroid 2024 YR4, which has a probability of impacting Earth in 2032. It's the only asteroid with an impact probability above 1%. President Trump announced a task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias at the National Prayer Breakfast. He pledged to protect Christians in various sectors and plans to create a White House faith office led by Reverend Paula White. President Trump's tax cuts are stalled in Congress due to Republican disagreements on government spending cuts. The House package includes tax cuts, border security, energy policy, and healthcare funds. And starting May 7th, AMC Theaters will increase Stubbs A-list prices to $27.99 per month in New York and California and $19.99 to $25.99 elsewhere. Members can now see 4 movies per week instead of 3. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
New year, fresh start. Why not with better water? LifeSource Water gives you clean, filtered water from every tap with no salt and no frequent maintenance. Call 800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com today. Warranty limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The NBA needs to make an exception for LeBron James and put him in the Hall of Fame today. Players have to wait 5 years after retiring before Hall of Fame consideration, but LeBron is showing no signs of retirement knocking on his door. He had 42 points, 17 rebounds, and 8 assists in the Lakers' 120-112 win over Golden State. At age 40, LeBron became the oldest player in NBA history to score 40 points. The Lakers have won 4 straight. The Clippers have lost 3 straight after losing at home to Indiana 119-112. Some personnel issues are beginning to surface. Indiana's bench outscored the Clippers bench 43-19. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, congratulations to former Chargers tight end Antonio Gates. He was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Gates did not play football in college. He was a basketball player at Kent State University. More on Gates' outstanding story this afternoon. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's KBLA Talk 1580's 3rd annual Black History Month luncheon, and you're invited. This is year 2 of our climate justice work, and this year's $2 million 12-month campaign is all about linking and combating the relationship between climate and Black health. We already know that these wildfires will leave in their wake even greater inequities, including negative impacts on Black health, given the toxic air pollutants circulating in the air we breathe. So, as part of this year's climate campaign, we're honoring Black doctors and leaders in healthcare at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Friday, February 28th at noon. If you would like to join us, just go to our KBLA 1580 website and register for your chance to be our guest at the luncheon. We'd love to see you. And in case you haven't heard the news, KBLA Talk 1580 was just named one of the semifinalists for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semifinalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, Log on to our website at KBLA1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, thanks for waking up with us. You're up with Miles Lowe, Ed Sanders, and Dominique DiPrima. We were talking Super Bowl and a lot of other things. On yesterday, Glenn Foster Jr., who is a former NFL player that was killed in police custody in a sundown town in Alabama. The mom is calling on. They're actually, they live in New Orleans, and he played for the Saints. She's calling on the NFL to honor him and help shed light. They're still trying to get footage from inside the prison. They're still trying to get answers, the grand jury transcripts. They're suing. This happened in 2021, but they want some acknowledgement from the NFL, some help from the NFL this week. They're asking people to call or tweet at the commissioner about this. They're asking for a tweet storm in honor of Glenn Foster Jr. during the Super Bowl. So I don't know if it's during the commercials or if the game has a slow period or while you're getting your snacks ready. But I think Mrs. Sabrina Foster has made the ask, and it's the least we can do in honor of Glenn Foster Jr. That phone number is 212-450-2000, 212-450-2000. That's the league office, and you can leave a message or talk to someone. I doubt you'll get Goodell on the phone, but you can try. You can also tweet at him. It's at NFL Commish, at NFL Commish. And they're just trying to shed some more light on Glenn Foster Jr.'s story, try to get some justice, a measure of justice, and they feel like an honoring or mention while they're at New Orleans for the Super Bowl would make a huge difference.
No, I think good idea. This is a story I didn't know about, and certainly want to thank you for raising it up. I'll take the time to read up on it. If there is something wrongful there, we should call some attention to it.
Yeah, Glenn Foster Jr., there's a lot of articles if you Google it. Very handsome young man. Speaking of handsome, did you hear that reporter asking Jalen Hurt how he could be more handsome? I think he was objectifying him. And certainly a lot of women are, because he is exceptionally handsome. Is that fair game, or is that just as bad as objectifying women?
I guess it depends, right? You could do it. You could do it with class, or you could do it in a crude way. But I never want to count somebody else's money in their pocket. But you're a good-looking guy, Ed. You've got a future in ads even now.
Actually, both Miles and Ed are very handsome. Would you take offense to that? You're trying to do your job as a rap artist. You're trying to do your job as a strategist, and people are commenting on your looks.
No, but see, he's also brand marketing, right? All of his profitability is not just in that he can, lead a football team. It's also that he can shape, people's thoughts on their brand, on products and all that sort of stuff. I think it would only reinforce that if I'm in his shoes. I would love it because
it's part of his brand. Yeah, I see what you're saying. What about you, Miles? Would you take offense to that? Oh yeah, Miles, we like your flow, but you're fine.
I don't know. I think that also too we got to look at where he's at. He's at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl interviews are always a lot more casual and a lot less serious at a certain point. We do get your serious football talks. We do have those portions where the media row is now open to a lot more TikTok influencers and content creators. So we've been seeing a lot more of this type of media over the last few years. So I'm not surprised by it. I wouldn't take any offense by it myself either, though.
It was a male reporter, which is interesting. Molly Bell says Ed is tall too. He's tall and he got them baby blue baby blue eyes. He claims he's not light-skinned, though.
Yeah, I'm not light-skinned.
Okay.
I don't want the light-skinned hate.
You don't want that smoke. Let's go to Jeanette calling us from Inglewood. Good morning, Jeanette.
Good morning, Dominique. Thank you so much for taking my call. So since this is Black History Month and KBLA is being Blackly Black, I was thinking we could speak on some people that maybe is never talked about during this time, like our ancestors and even the present day people. And I just have one that I just discovered from talking to a person who likes football, and I don't.
You don't like football?
No, I don't know it, understand it.
So what will you do during the Super Bowl, Jeanette? Will you watch
I will
watch Bridgerton?
I am one of those, wait a minute, I am one of those who somebody will call me at halftime. So I will watch halftime, but I won't watch the game itself.
Okay.
But anyway, the person that I want to focus on today, his name was Frederick Douglass, a.k.a. Fritz Pollard. He was born in January 1894, and he died in 1986 at the age of 92. He was born in Chicago, by the way. And so I found out that he was the first African-American to play a championship team, on a championship team in 1920, as well as the first black quarterback in 1923. And after his career in football, he had a talent agency, consulting firm, film, and music production. And finally, he had siblings, and his brother was an advertising executive, and his sister was a librarian. And I wanted to say this to just say that they were before DEI. So we as black people, as you say, Dominique,
ain't no DEI in football.
The brother was an advertising executive, so there was no DEI. Yeah. So, as you say, we've been through this, and we can go through it again. But I was impressed by him.
He's handsome too. I mean, while we're on that topic, so see the first quarterback.
You looked him up.
The first quarterback was in Detroit Lions. Ed, you sounded like you had something to say about that.
No, I wanted to raise Fritz Pollard up, and Dominic, you probably remember a few years back. I think we were working on a project that organized minority coaches between sort of the high school, college, and even the professional ranks. The Fritz Pollard Alliance that bears his name is, one of the foundations that leads the effort within the NFL to track the Rooney Rule, which requires that, coaches, particularly for the head coach and coordinator position, that you have to interview, a coach, a candidate of color, preferably an African American. But it's the work of the Fritz Pollard Alliance that has been pushing forward, a lot of the candidates. It helps with sort of the interview prep, the strategy of what you say in the interviews, but it bears his name and an important. I'm really glad you brought up Fritz Pollard. He's an important part of sports history that I think gets left behind.
Interesting. I wonder if that Rooney Rule is going to survive this administration. This MAGA Republican administration is, the first thing Pam Bondi, the new leader of the Department of Justice, Attorney General, has said is that she's going to criminally investigate private businesses that have DEI policies. And it seems like the Rooney Rule is definitely on the DEI kind of vibe, right? Isn't it? I mean, it's kind of classic DEI.
It is. And, you're talking about the billionaire class itself that owns the teams, right? And I think some organizations have clearly embraced it, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers come to mind, and some organizations haven't, and I would say I would put sort of the Jets in that category and some of the others, but When you're talking about billionaire owners and you're talking about this administration, I think you have a good sense of where their mindset is. I think the one thing about the NFL is the number of African American players, the risk of going head to head with the league's Players Association. I don't think they want to do that. They could have a walk off at any point, and that's no good for business.
So you think it might stand? Unless
I
Bondi,
think the Rooney will. Yeah,
unless
I think
Bondi goes after them. She probably won't. Well,
yeah, we've got the leverage in the NFL to stop that conversation. It's different in, say, a Fortune 5 company where, we're not the bulk of the workforce.
It's not like the Rooney Rule has resulted in this massive number of black coaches.
It's more. Right, it's a lot more than it was, and the Rooney Rule has brought more candidates forward. Right, and the Rooney Rule doesn't guarantee a black coach, but
right, it guarantees an interview. But in what we've heard is that many times those positions are already filled, and they're just going through the motions.
Yeah, for the head coaches, it's a function of the offensive coordinators. Right, mm-hmm. Like I think the majority of NFL head coaches were NFL offensive coordinators, and so while you can focus on the head coach, if you don't have African Americans calling plays, then they're really not in position to become head coaches. I think Eric Bieniemy a couple of years ago, remember he was the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs on maybe the first 2 Super Bowls that they won, and he interviewed. Everyone sort of thought he was going to get a head coaching position. It didn't work out for him. And, his candidacy is one of those that you kind of look at, like, how does the offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl champions not immediately get a head coaching job? And you see it happen on everywhere else. And so, the point being that the Rooney Rule is important because it keeps conversations like that up at the forefront. And it keeps working with players or coaches to. It's not just a resume development piece, but it is far more strategy and introductions to the general managers, the owners, those that have equity in the teams. There's a lot of work that goes into preparing someone to become a head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, wow, that's wild. 1894, I didn't realize that guy was born in 1894. That means he's less than 30 years out of enslavement. His family, and he's the first guy to coach in the NFL. It also kind of puts things in perspective. Reminder, it wasn't that long ago, y'all. I know y'all don't want to include us. You don't want to give us equity. You don't want any diversity. But the reality is, my great-great-grandma, who I have a photograph of, was enslaved. It wasn't that long ago, people. Happy Black History Month. Happy Blackity Black History Month. Thank you for that, Jeanette. Continuing the conversation when we come forward, I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580. Are you a recent college graduate with a dream of getting a high-paying job in sales? A job where you can grow a lucrative career in multi-platform audio, digital, podcast, social media, and local events, along with world-class training and career growth opportunities. KBLA Talk 1580, located in historic Leimert Park, is currently hiring entry-level account executives for outside sales. Join a team featuring radio hosts Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornell West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, Dr. Nee Cordelai-Corte, Zoe Williams, and our very own Dominique DiPrima. For more information on attending our upcoming career fair, contact SMB at KBLA1580.com today. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutrition nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
When it comes to sending last-minute Valentine's Day gifts, nobody delivers like Target Circle 360. Get the perfect surprise delivered right to their door with Target Circle 360's unlimited same-day delivery on orders over $35. Start with a dozen red roses, then choose from our delicious assortment of favorite day candy and more. Crush your Valentine's Day celebration by sending something to everyone on your list. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back indeed. Ed Sanders is here with me this morning. And, of course, Miles Lowe, always here. So are you guys doing Super Bowl parties? Are you watching at home with your snacks? Do you go out? How do you celebrate how do you do your Super Bowl?
A little bit of both. I'm probably going to head out to a couple of Super Bowl parties just to pop in and see some friends, catch the vibe. It's a national holiday for us, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. What about you, Miles?
I'll probably go to my grandma's, kick with some of my cousins.
Okay, all right. I'm not mad at that.
Huh?
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, have a little parlay session with the fam. I'm gonna be eagle down. So if anybody in LA in the area got something going on, feel free to always let me know. But I'll probably be with the fam and turned up.
Yeah, you already said no new football friends.
No, but I met a couple people out here that are some Eagle fans. I met a few of them.
Yeah, there are some for sure. LA got everybody fans. It's wild. I mean, there's a lot of Rams people. You still have tons of Raiders folks.
More everything than Rams, I'm realizing.
Yeah, that may be.
That's changing.
I think it is changing. Yeah, I do think it's changing. I mean, I remember when I first came to LA, it was a lot of Dallas fans, and we won't go into that, but I think there are still a lot of those, and there was, fans. Different teams had different significance for different parts of LA.
Yeah. I think it will change though, coming up soon. I think we can get a little more. I don't know. I feel like LA wasn't too much of a football town specifically when I got here before the Rams really got here. I think that's definitely changing.
But you got to go back further. I mean, when I first came, people were still like Raiders.
Right.
And like I said, Dallas and a few other teams. What do you say, Ed? You're a native Angelino.
And we were a Raider town, and there was it was Raiders and Lakers. And, when the Raiders left and we didn't have a team here for a while, then you kind of started to see everybody else. But also, L.A. was also that city in the country that everyone moved to. I'm always surprised. When you have a conversation with a native Angelino, it was like a rare day. But everyone was coming from, all over the place. All of a sudden there were bars that had Green Bay Packer bars, that sort of thing. You're like, wow, where did all these people come from? But,
yeah, because this is the marketplace, the Hollywood dream. It's here.
Yeah. Now we got the Rams back. We'll be fine. The Ram fans will start to grow again.
I told you I got to go to a game this year. Thank you, Sasha. And there were plenty of fans there. I mean, so I don't know. I think having a stadium, having a team that's actually located here, it makes a difference. I remember before I moved to LA, I went to a Raiders game. I think it might have given me pause. Do I really want to move there? Those people are crazy.
We beat up a Denver Bronco fan in the stands.
But also, think back to NWA and those guys. What'd you see? You saw Raider gear. So I don't know. Is LA a football town?
LA is probably the best football town. Our high school football is the best high school football in the country.
Miles is making a face, just so you know, Ed. I ratted you out, Miles.
Okay. Look, Ed know, if you're talking high school, Ed know about Florida, Ed know about Texas. I'm not saying California isn't, but but from that perspective, though, I do get you on saying it is a California town, though, for sure. I mean, a football town, for sure.
Dorsey, Compton, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't claim to be an expert.
I appreciate it. You can always raise up Florida and Texas, but the best football players come out of Southern California, always have. And we take our football seriously. It's just when they're winning a pro team to root for, it's tough to do.
And then you got UCLA and USC and sort of the college tradition, which is pretty strong here too, right?
Yeah, of course. We always got to find ways to maintain it, right? We got to get FC back on top and UCLA competing, but the athletes are here. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you guys to explain why everybody's so up in arms about this Laker trade, but maybe we don't have time. We only have a couple minutes. Can you give me the Cliff's Notes on it?
Oh, it's listen, what do they say when do something to get all boats to rise? I know I'm messing up the idiom, but Luka in Los Angeles is a great thing for the league, right? Because whenever the Lakers are up, Laker Nation, and you were mentioning the Cowboys in the football segment, but when the Lakers are up and winning, the league profitability is up, and in this case, you're going to get the number one star of the future for the league here in LA. The expansion across globally, between Wemby and Luka, those games are going to be epic. Lakers, San Antonio, we're going to get another rekindling of that rivalry with those two. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we've always been talking about what is the post-LeBron era for the Lakers look like, and now we know.
The LA Times has an article today about this guy, Jacob Posner, who's going to be putting up billboards in protest to this trade because he's a Mavericks fan, apparently. He's putting up billboards in Dallas. So what you're saying is that it's the brouhaha is because the guy is in your mind the future of the game. And what is that? How does that impact LeBron, the now of the game?
LeBron is the now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you look at it and he's still LeBron. But LeBron isn't going to be playing. Well, I don't know that, but LeBron probably won't be playing over the next 5 years.
Right.
And could very easily, end his career after this season. I mean, he's still playing well. But he's not, he definitely is 40. Father Time is going to have his career end. And, I don't think anyone in LA thought we would really be able to field a strong team with Anthony Davis. So to be able to move Anthony Davis, bring Luka in, that's exciting. The truth of the matter is to see LeBron and Luka play together is going to be, really exciting. They're going to merge and play well, like just as well as Kyrie and Luka were playing. I think the two of them are going to be really special on the court together.
All right, Ed Sanders, thank you for waking us up this Friday, and you can find Ed at Edward M. Sanders in the hellscape that is Twitter. Thanks for stopping by, Ed.
Thank you. Stay dry, drive safe if you're out on the roads today.
The one and only Commissioner Kansa Muhammad, a.k.a. Friday Jones, joins me for a Freedman Friday next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. New NASA imagery reveals asteroid 2024 YR4, which has a probability of impacting Earth in 2032. It's the only asteroid with an impact probability above 1%. President Trump announced a task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias at the National Prayer Breakfast. He pledged to protect Christians in various sectors and plans to create a White House faith office led by Reverend Paula White. President Trump's tax cuts are stalled in Congress due to Republican disagreements on government spending cuts. The House package includes tax cuts, border security, energy policy, and health care funds. And starting May 7th, AMC Theaters will increase Stubbs A-list prices to $27.99 per month in New York and California and $19.99 to